Hello, and welcome back to Buzby Gaming. I'm Tony, and today we're actually going to revisit Hard Trilogy. Now, I only played the first part of 3 in the last video. I didn't play through the whole thing just because it takes probably about 2 hours to do. Today we're going to play through the Die Harder portion of the game. Already fucking up words. But, yeah, this is more the gun gallery level, kind of something similar to Dead Aim or House of the Dead, Time Crisis, you know, that kind of style of arcade game. But it's a little bit more gory, there's a lot more explosions, and we are going to go check it out right now. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we go. We're going to play Die Hard 2, Die Harder, and where's the cheat codes I got? Over here. Yeah, I play with cheat codes, makes things easier, because I've already beaten the game regularly, and just for replay value, it's funner for me, and it makes it easier to edit if I'm not dying every 5 minutes. So, start, highlight, quit. And hold R2, push down, triangle, left, square.
Yeah, eat this! Not me, don't yeah, eat this!
Where's the bad guys? Where are
Not my
they?
day. Get out of my way!
Kind of forgot all the buttons. Killing cops and everybody. There's firing in the terminal.
Not me! Sorry, now.
Yeah, eat this. Oh shit. This is the portion I usually played with like an actual gun. Like I got a little Mad Catz gun that I played with. But for some reason they don't work anymore with these newer TVs. And like I said in the last Die Hard video, I mean, there are guns that do work with these TVs, but yeah, they're like crazy expensive. And I heard they don't really work all that well because you need like a specific type of TV, just like the fucking original ones anyway. So I think it's kind of messed up. You gotta pay. Oh shit.
Sorry, pal.
You gotta pay so much damn money for just one console. I don't think it's like a universal thing. You know, so it's like you pay $100 for, you know, a PS1 gun. I think it's like, I don't know if it's backwards compatible. It says PS2, so I would assume that it would be working for the PS1 as well, but I mean, you never know. don't know if you guys have guessed or not, but this is gonna be one of the games that I give away with the console. Those of you who don't know, I'm giving away a PS1 console toward the end of the month. I'll have a link in the description down below for that, and also it'll be up in the corner for those of you that are watching on a PC or your TV. You can figure out how to get in on that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever played this game with a controller before. I've always used that fucking Mad Catz controller. It's like a gun. You can shoot at the screen and you point away to reload. So many bad guys trying to get in this damn airport, man. Maybe they're just regular pissed off citizens that are trying to get in. Yippee-ki-yay. What did you say to me? Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. I can't help but laugh every time I watch that movie and hear him say it that way too. Alan Rickman just played a great bad guy. Shut up. I kinda just did, dude. Yeah, I like to know where to get a shotgun like that. Damn. Headshot. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, I'm doing a Call of Duty thing where I'm like reloading after every single person I kill. Oh no, I shot an innocent civilian who was hiding behind the counter with bad guys. They're the slowest moving rockets ever. I helped you out, man. Took you out of your misery. Well, I'm gonna take all you out at once. Boom! I got my headphones like on super high, so I could actually feel those explosions in my brain. Yeah, so I mean, my last video yesterday that I did, Matt, who actually ended up pointing out, who actually asked me the question that made me do that video anyway, pointed out that I talked about the PS5 for like 3 or 4 minutes, and then I went on a tirade for like 12 minutes about Rockstar games. I was not intending on doing that at all. Though I felt it needed to be said, there was so much more things about the PS5 I wanted to go over with you guys, but I ultimately just ended up going on a tirade. Then I saw the time that I was at, and I was like, alright, well, I'm going to cut it short right here. But yeah, I mean, I thought the design of the PS5 looks a little strange. It kind of looks like a futuristic futuristic Xbox 360 or a router or something. I mean, it just doesn't even look like a console. It's got like pointy edges. Usually, they don't make those edges like that pointy. I mean, there's like corners, obviously, yeah, but I mean, it looks like the tip of Batman's fucking head. You know, it's just weird because there's like pointy ears in the corner, and then they got the all digital version versus the kind that has the disc drive in it. Which, I mean, that's cool to have that as an option. There's certainly physical collectors. I'm one of them. I like to collect my games physically, but I don't know, man. Doing it all digital, I'm thinking that honestly, this might be the last console generation. I really wouldn't be surprised, because just the fact that they're already so much like PCs, it's kind of unbelievable that we even have this console generation. Because I mean, there's a skeleton. Holy shit. But I think that the next console generation, if you want to call it that generation, would be, I think sooner or later they're all going to be apps on your desktop. I know that's kind of controversial for me to say, but you know, the truth is that they're just like PCs nowadays. I mean, Xbox is already going that route with the ability to play your games streaming and things like that, and Project xCloud and all that stuff. But I think that, you know, and even PS, I think 3 started it with the streaming, though it wasn't that great. PS4 has it down pretty good. Yeah, I'm betting that they're going to end up all as a desktop application. Is click, and you launch into your service. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I mean, nobody thought that the Blockbuster would. Damn. Sorry, it's kind of hard to talk with all these explosions and shit. Here, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, it's kind of distracting to talk with all the explosions and shit going on. But what I was saying was, nobody thought that Blockbuster would eventually go the way of the dinosaur, and it did. You know, it went out of business, and you can't go there and rent games anymore. You know, video game demos used to be like, you know, like, oh shit, that was so cool. Like, you know, you get a PlayStation magazine or Tips and Tricks, whatever, or PlayStation Underground, and you get those demo discs that came with those consoles, or came with those magazines. Xbox magazine had one. It's just like, it don't happen no more. I mean, that's kind of like shitty too, because I mean, there's a lot of games that are not that great, and you end up paying full price for them, and you can't return the fucking things. You know, no store's gonna take them back. I mean, I actually had what the hell was it? Homefront. One of the Homefront games, the newer one where it takes place in Philadelphia. I was born in Philadelphia, so I was like, alright, this is going to be like a walk in the park playing this game for me. It was just a buggy mess. Like, it was horrible. Like, it was a full price game. Absolutely horrible. So I called up Xbox. I was like, look, I feel like I got gypped out of some money. So, you know, the game's not working. It's full of bugs and shit. I like my money back. And they said, well, we could do this one time for you. So they ended up giving my money back, but it's like, there's no quality, steel of quality anymore. You know, like it doesn't, developers don't really seem to care. That's what my whole tirade was about with Rockstar games. They used to always care about what we thought. They were a fan service developer, not anymore. And that's what made me go on that big tirade about that shit, because they really should be. It's not that I hate Rockstar. I love Rockstar. I just hate what Rockstar has now become. And that is, honestly, might not even be Rockstar's fault. I went on this big tirade for that. It might be actually Take-Two Interactive, which is their parent company, that's forcing them to do this shit. And I said to somebody in the comments on that PS5 video that I really wouldn't be surprised if not only are they currently working on this new GTA game, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already finished, and they're just waiting to milk everything that they can out of GTA 5. And like I said, that may not even be Rockstar's decision. It might just be their parent company, which is Take-Two, going, hey, this is what we want. Or another option that, you know, and I was already thinking about this when my brother said it, but since they're actually doing a standalone release of GTA Online, they may end up not even making another numbered GTA game. And they're saying that this GTA Online is going to be expanded and enhanced. It's like, well, yeah, you may be getting Liberty City, but I mean, like, they may end up making like Vice City or, you know, other areas for you to go and explore. And yeah, that may end up being what we get now instead of an actual numbered title, which it's going to suck, because and again, I don't think they're going to do that, because even Rockstar themselves has said that they are you know, single player focused game, even though their actions say otherwise. I mean, yeah, Red Dead Redemption was an awesome game, and it was really heavily single player focused, but I don't know, man. They seem to be really pushing that online shit, and it's not really even shit. It's just, like I said, it might not even be Rockstar. It might just be Take-Two. Which, by the way, I think Take-Two Interactive is a bunch of bitches. They actually filed a copyright against me for that video, for that the PS5 thing. Yeah, I fucking ripped Rockstar Games a new one, whatever. But if I was actually a monetized channel, they would have taken all of my revenue for that video, which, you know, fuck them bitches. I'm not monetized, so they're not going to get a fucking dime out of me, because I'm not getting a dime out of it. So, you know, fat chance are going to get fucking any kind of money. But now, I realize now I have to be careful when I talk about these assholes, because they may end up putting copyright strikes or copyright claims against my videos, simply just because I'm talking about them. And I think that's really bullshit, and I don't know if there's even a way to fight it or not, because, I mean, like I said, I'm new to this shit. So, I mean, there could very well be a way I can dispute it or whatever, because I did show a part of their trailer or whatever, but it's like, every fucking gamer does. There's a gaming channel everywhere. Like, I am a very small fish in a very big pond on YouTube with the gaming community, and I know that a lot of other people showed the footage from that trailer, and I bet they didn't get fucking flagged or copyright claimed. But the truth is, maybe they actually went and did that to me because I was ripping them a new one, or maybe they just, you know, are that fucking money hungry that they're gonna try and file a claim against anybody they can who uses parts and pieces of their footage. I don't get how they, I don't get why they would even do that, because I mean, fucking YouTubers playing games is like free advertising. So they're just like trying to get a monopoly on it. You know what I mean? I've never, all the games I've done so far, new and old, I've never gotten a copyright claim on any of them except for that one. And it figures it happens on the one fucking company I'm saying is greedy and doesn't give a shit about their fans. Those are the ones that fucking come after me. And it's like, you know, and that's Take-Two. I mean, like I said, all the shit that I said about Rockstar, you might as well replace Rockstar with Take-Two. Because I think that Rockstar is just a developer, and I think that they really do. I think they do care about us fans, but Take-Two is money hungry, you know. And I'm gonna stop talking about it because I'm not gonna turn this into another fucking video about that shit. But you know, I just want to hold people accountable, especially a developer that has that much love from the gaming community. Let's see, another game I thought was really cool, which, you know, people know in that PS5 thing I was talking about. There was a game called Destruction All-Stars, and that looked really good. And, you know, you guys know that I like Destruction Derby. In fact, I think that's going to be one of the video games I'm going to play. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I guess like you play as a character, and your car can actually end up getting destroyed, and you like run around outside the vehicle and just try and survive a destruction, demolition derby type thing. I mean, the particle physics and all that alone look really damn cool. Like, there was one part shown in slow motion in the trailer where it was like the vehicle got hit, and you just seen like a wave of like sparks and shit, and I was like, man, that looks pretty damn good. But one of the things I really wanted to say is that these PS5 fucking games, they all look like PS4 games. They really do not look that much different. They don't look like a whole new generation. But I mean, that honestly could be just because it's early on, but still. I mean, the only game, ironically, I'm not even really that much of a fan of, and it's not really the fact that I don't like it, but it's a fact that I never really played it, and that's Ratchet and Clank. Now, in that trailer that they had, that was actually really impressive when it showed them going through portals, and there was like no loading at all. Like, they go from like this portal world to another world, and hop into another portal, go into another world, and from what they were saying and what it looked like, those were actually each individual levels. They weren't just like part of one level and it made it look like it was all seamless, but no, it was actually loading in each individual little level as it went through those portals. And if those SSDs are that quick, I mean, that's something really cool to show off. But I mean, as far as like graphic fidelity and resolution and frames per second, I really didn't see that big of a difference. And I mean, that's something that I'm noticing across the board, because even with Xbox's third-party event or whatever it was, there was not really one impressive game I saw on there. Like, I was actually disappointed watching that presentation, man. I was like, is this shit it? You know, I was at work, and since I have a gaming channel, I fucking watch shit on my break and all, and I kind of zoomed through it, and it was just like a lot of bullshit talking. Trailers kind of sucked, and nothing really looked that interesting. And keep in mind that these were third-party games, so more than likely, I believe PS5 and PC and all that's going to get them too. But I don't know. This is like there was nothing really impressive, you know. Like, sure, games look good, like, you know, Hitman and the games I talk about, Resident Evil 8 and and all. They all look good, but they look like PS4 games. It's nothing that's making me want to be in line day one for these new consoles. And I hate saying it that way, but it's kind of like what it's becoming. You know, I might have to end up waiting until those games or until the consoles end up dropping down in price, just because the pure fact that they just do not look good enough to me, and doesn't seem like it's a big enough jump to justify spending probably $600-700 on these consoles per each one. I mean, I imagine that conservatively, I'm betting that the PS5 is going to be probably between $599, $699. I'm betting, and a lot of people are like, you know, already apprehensive about that. It's like, look, you spend like $1,000 on the phone like every 3 years. I'm pretty sure, you know, spending $600-700 on a console ain't gonna fucking break you. I mean, I don't have that much money, but I'm gonna end up getting each and every one of these new consoles. I have a gaming PC, I have an Xbox One, I have a PS4 Pro. I'm not a console fanboy, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go up to bat and bash one console over the other. I have a distinct advantage because I actually own all of them, and I can tell you that each has their pros and cons. And to be honest with you, I mean, they're more similar than they are different. I mean, they are. I mean, I don't know what to tell people, but I mean, I even had to the point where, I mean, I do play Xbox quite a bit more because that's what my family has, but for personal gaming, I usually go on PC, and I use a 360 controller, and I've become so accustomed to that because I have such fucking large lunchbox fucking hands that the joysticks on the Xbox controller are further apart, and my hands and thumbs and shit don't bash into each other when I'm playing games that require using both sticks, like first-person shooters and things like that. I ended up getting an adapter for my PlayStation 4 that enabled me to use a 360 controller, not a 360, an Xbox One controller, and I ended up actually liking that a lot more. Then I found out you needed to use the pad for certain games, like the touchpad for certain games here and there, so I ended up just getting a third-party controller that was actually a PlayStation built controller, not just an adapter, and that had the touchpad on it, and the thumbsticks were apart. I don't know what it is. I mean, like the older PlayStation controllers actually feel better in my hand, like the PS1 controller with the joysticks for some reason, even though everyone swears up and down that they're the exact same. I'm telling you, they're not. I mean, the space between the thumbsticks is like a lot shorter in the newer shit, and it just, I don't know, I feel like when I'm holding the PlayStation 4 controller that I'm gonna fucking break the thing if I squeeze it too damn hard. I don't know, that's just my critique on PS4. I still love PS4. I mean, God of War is my favorite fucking game. And I mean, I thought it was really cool that Red Dead Redemption and God of War were head-to-head contenders for Game of the Year. But, you know, when God of War got Game of the Year, I actually agree with that quite a bit, because that was an awesome game. And it was actually one of my hopes that they were going to actually announce a sequel at that event. But I mean, that would be a little bit too early. Yeah, they have all the assets. I think it took like 6 years or so for them to develop the version that we got, and it was like, I don't think it's going to take that long, because they already have all the assets and everything. you know, the 3D models, and all they gotta do is like upscale and make them look a little bit more pretty or
Bad
whatever.
idea. Bad idea.
But I imagine that the next God of War is actually going to be playing off of the same map that the current God of War is on, you know, with the realms and shit. I just got a feeling that a lot of them are probably going to end up being like snow covered or destroyed or something like that. So
Happy trail.
that's probably going to be the thing. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the new consoles. I mean, even if it's just you're not going to notice probably that big of a difference right away. You know, it's probably going to be more of a thing with every new console. I mean, they're going to look like the previous gen for the first year or two until they start getting used to the dev kits and making them actually look like a next-gen game. I mean, there was a couple games here and there. I can't really remember them. Like Pragmata or something like that, where you're walking around New York in like a spacesuit. I mean, that kind of looked, you know, probably like one of the most next-gen games I saw. There was another one, kind of looked like Ripley and Aliens. I don't really remember the name of it. Also, I mean, not Stir of Echoes, that's a fucking horror movie. A VR game, what the hell's the name of that VR game? Lone Echo. It kind of reminded me of that, the main character from that. I can't remember the name of the game now.
One more like that, and I'm a gun.
But yeah, I mean, overall, that conference was pretty decent. It's just that Rockstar announcement pissed me off. One thing I think would be really cool is if for the PC and for, you know, for the PC and for the PlayStation 4 and 5, it would be really cool if they made GTA 5 in VR. I mean, I think that would be pretty awesome. There's a lot of shit happening at once. I think I killed like fucking half of Wyoming in this fucking level. And I know that there's like, speaking of GTA VR, I know that there's Vortex or something like that. If you have a VR headset, you can play VR, but there's a lot of tuning and bullshit along with getting that to run. But I mean, that would be one way to kind of like, you know, lengthen it. But I mean, shit, I played fucking what was it, LA Noire VR, and that shit made me like fucking dizzy as fuck. I was it's not so much I'm dizzy inside the game, but it's like when I take the damn headset off, man, I feel like I'm like drunk or something. But yeah, my overall thing about the whole next gen, I'm not sold on it yet. You know, and you know, the first iterations of fucking Xbox especially, they love to release like faulty hardware. You know, like I've had one of the very first Xbox One that I got was prone to overheating, and it would just shut off middle of the game, and then like the vent would turn on, and like, you know, or the fan would turn on full blast, and, you know, get rid of all the heat in there, and it would, you know, say, oh, you know, try moving your Xbox. I had the thing sitting right next to a fan. I've tried everything. The thing just kept fucking overheating, so I ended up upgrading to a Xbox One X, and I haven't had a problem with it. I had a PS4 Pro already, so I have like the best of the best this generation has to offer. And I don't know, man. It's like, from what I've seen, it just doesn't seem like it's worth putting the money up to move on to the next consoles yet. You know, I'm waiting for that killer app, I guess is what I'm saying. You know, I'm waiting for that one game that's gonna make me go, oh shit, yeah, I'm getting in line day one, getting that. I haven't seen it yet. I mean, I thought that what the hell was it? Spider-Man Miles Morales was a full-on game. It's an expansion. It's like a DLC. I guess maybe not a DLC. Maybe it'll be a standalone disc, but they're saying it's basically, you should think of it more like an expansion rather than a sequel. So, I mean,
One more like that, and I'm a goner. Take this, Yankee.
I personally love a remake of this game. I think I've said that before. And they did that Nakatomi Plaza or whatever, but that was an indie studio. I'd love to have them do all this, like, today's graphics. Yeah, I mean, another thing too is, like, for some reason, I give these newer consoles shit, you know, and I do make modern videos and all, but you know, for some reason, like even like I said, I've never gotten a copyright claim on any of the games I've played yet. Just Take-Two Interactive got goofy with me, but that's one of the things I kind of like about these older games I play. That, you know, nobody's really gonna give a shit if you're playing them. You know, like Fox Interactive ain't gonna make a copyright claim against me for playing this game. You know, I could say what I want about it. I could do what I want with it, and they're not gonna say a damn thing. And that's even the case. I mean, even with, like, Ubisoft. I played The Division. You know, I've played Guts and Glory. You know, I've played all kinds of modern games on this channel, and I've made videos about them. And I never had a copyright claim yet. And figures that, you know, the greediest amongst them are the ones that come for me. That's why I kind of like, I'm getting to the point where it's like, you know, I love playing modern games. They're a little bit more difficult to record because I'm going through my Elgato and I'm going into my PC, so it takes up actual, like, storage on my PC, so I have to have my PC and the game console running at the same time. Thankfully this, I can, like, play in the native resolution. Only problem is, like, when I go to do the actual editing of these videos, like, a lot of these PlayStation 1 games are 30 frames a second, and the Elgato records at 60 frames a second. So sometimes there'll be, like, blurs and shit, and, you know, it's just trying to make a 30 frames a second game 60 frames a second. You know, so it's like anticipating frames, so it's like doubling the amount, and it does some weird shit, and I gotta edit it through and push it back down to 30 while this picture of me and you stays at 60 frames a second. It's kind of a pain in the ass to edit some of these older games, because I'll, you know, stretch the screen to make it, you know, look a little bit better. I'll make it a little darker, contrast colors and things like that, just to make it easier on the eyes to watch, because a lot of these games have not aged very well. But I can tell you one thing that's really, really nice with the Elgato is when I got the HDMI adapter from N64. Like, that made things so much better. And I use that M cable with the M Classic and that Super 64. It makes it so that I don't have to adjust a damn thing. I don't have to change the widescreen. I don't have to change the frames per second. I don't have to edit, put a softener on there or anything like that. It's like it's all done for me. So I mean, that's kind of what makes playing the N64 games. I was able to churn out like 2 of those 2 to 3 of those a week when I was doing the N64 highlight, because it was just a hell of a lot easier to edit. These PlayStation 1 games are not so much. But I gotta tell you, like, it's fun going through and playing these PlayStation 1 games, because, yeah, they're, like I said, a pain in the ass to edit, but they're a lot more realistic, and there's, like, blood and gore, and it's just like, you wouldn't see this kind of action set pieces in an N64 title. It just wouldn't work. You know, about the most action-fueled game you got in the N64 is like probably like Rogue Squadron or Winback or something like that. Damn, it's like shaky as shit.
You're doing yourself, John.
There we go. Sorry, I had to stop constantly. Okay, I'm chasing like an empty. Okay, we're still going around in circles for what?
What are you doing to yourself, John?
What's happening? Why are we still driving around? We're done.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Yay, alright. Just kept driving around in circles and shit. What the fuck's happening? Or we're still driving. There we go. Fuck. Yeah, but I mean, that's like one of the things I was saying, that these games are a little more gory, a little bit more realistic. Obviously not in graphics wise, because it's still blocky and pixely, but
NYPD!
oh fuck, no, that's never good. I think it's kind of weird that both of the first game, I don't know if I said it right, but both of the first Die Hard movies take place on Christmas or Christmas Eve. And that's kind of nuts. And I think Die Hard 2 wasn't even like a real thing. I mean, I know the first Die Hard was actually based on a movie, but just like the first Rambo, there's only one of them, but then they like, oh, well, the movie's so damn popular, let's make a sequel. And arguably, I don't know how Die Hard 3 even came to be, because Die Hard 2 really kind of, for lack of a better word, just sucked compared to the original. And, you know, it was really weird, because you got, like, the first movie was great, second movie, third movie, probably the best one out of all of them. And it's like, I don't know, man, like, the Die Hard movies, I think after 3, I was pretty much, you know, out. When he starts jumping from helicopters or jumping from semi-trucks onto Harrier jets and shit, you know, it's like, okay. Part of the whole reason and the allure of Die Hard was that, you know, dude's just an ordinary guy in an extraordinary situation, and he somehow survives. And that's not the case with all these other ones. It's like, I've seen Die Hard 4 and 5 in theaters, and I was just like, man, I'm like, they're making him like a fucking superhero, you know, dude's unkillable. So it's not Die Hard, it's Die Impossibly, you know. So I don't know. I know that they say there's some kind of plans to make another one. How many fucking people are in that cabin? Their plans to make another one. They're calling it John McClane. There's a working title right now, where it's going to flash back between modern time, which is like today, Bruce Willis, and a younger actor playing a younger John McClane. I think it's going to be like probably like a CGI Bruce Willis's face on a younger actor or some shit. I don't fucking know. I don't think it's even gonna get made. I mean, it's just getting to the point where shit's ridiculous, and I don't get why they're saying it's more like a prequel. And it's like, from my understanding, you know, the first Die Hard movie was the first time he'd ever done some crazy ass shit like that, you know. That was the impression I got, but, you know, maybe that's not the case. I mean, maybe he's just been a fucking, maybe he's just been like an action hero his entire life, you know. Throws his bottle from the crib and it fucking explodes. Don't get me wrong, the Die Hard movies are good. I mean, they're fun to watch, but it gets to a point where it's like, you know, where you're invested, I guess I could say, like in Die Hard 1 and 3, like you're actually like, oh shit, could something actually happen to him? And it just gets to the point where it's like, well, he's gonna fucking survive no matter what, you know. The bad guy's always gonna die, and usually it's gonna be after he says some fucking one-liner. So I don't know, man. It's kind of like the Terminator. Arnold fucking dies in every single Terminator movie, yet he returns, even though it's supposed to be a different Terminator or some shit. But it's like, you know, they could have done a big service to that franchise if, for one, in this latest one, they said, oh, we're going to wipe the slate clean or whatever. You know, this is going to be a direct sequel to Terminator 2. And then they fucking kill off the main character in the opening credits. If you're a Terminator fan like me, that pissed me off already right off the bat before the movie started, because all the shit that they went through in Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 was just for nothing. Like, they just, you know, did all that shit for nothing. And I don't know, to me it was just, my brother and I was like, oh yeah, it's great. And, you know, after we sat down and we talked about it, because arguably my brother is, not even arguably, I mean, he is a bigger Terminator fan than I am. I like Batman. I'm a big fan of Batman. Nobody can really contest, to my knowledge, on Batman. And my brother's the same way with Terminator, even though I tried a couple times to debate with him, but he actually saw things my way when I told him that, you know. I mean, it's just really weird that they, that's how they passed the torch, so to speak. I mean, they could have easily just, you know, had John Connor, you know, just step away. You know what I mean? He's no longer the human resistance leader because he'd be too old. Damn, there's dudes on the fucking wing of the plane. I don't think that'd be possible for guys to be flying on a fucking plane like trolls in fucking Twilight Zone. Fuck you, I'll fire a rocket at a plane, I don't care. There's no music, I didn't even realize that until just now. I'm about to edit some in. I don't know what it is with this Elgato, man. Sometimes it just does really weird shit, like with, I don't know if necessarily if the Elgato is to blame or if it's just because I resurfaced the disc. But the, come on, stop shaking the fucking screen so we can get the guy. But I think that this is more of a case of the just the disc maybe resurfaced so many damn times that it don't work. But the copy I'm gonna be giving away is actually going to be a fairly new copy, not the one I'm holding. I have a lot of duplicates of games, ones that I collect, and some of that I just play the living shit out of. So, yeah. I mean, the one game that is going to be in that collection for the giveaway, if anybody even fucking cares anymore about it, is going to be Silent Hill, and that alone is like a $50, $60 game. I know at the game store here in town, it's selling for about $80, but yeah, it's going to be yours absolutely free if you are the console winner. So just to run down the list of the revealed games so far, it's going to be Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, Diehard Trilogy, and Jet Moto 2, and Silent Hill so far. I mean, there's going to be more. Obviously, I'm going to reveal later, but yeah, those are the games so far that I'm letting y'all in on. Was that it? Was that the only dude I was waiting? Still flying around like a madman?
I see him.
This has to be like the last level, I would assume. I've been playing for an hour already.
Come on!
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye, bad guy!
Isn't that the plane like his wife's on or something? Like, are you gonna be picking up your wife's charred remains? I don't know, man. This is a crazy ass game. You're supposed to stay in your seats till the plane reaches the terminal. Man, that's a lot of explosion. I guess that wasn't the plane. I guess that's the plane. His wife's on. Game complete. Cool. I just love how you play through like a big ass long game, and they just give you like a little ending like that. That's funny.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Let's see.
Come on!
Oh, what happened?
Yippee-ki-yay!
Oh, an ass. Dave. I wonder if that's actually my brother. If it is, I beat your high score. Haha. We'll exit out. Alright, so we are an hour in. This is an hour-long video. This is probably one of the longer form videos I've done, and I've promised not to do those really anymore because they're kind of a bitch to edit. But all that being said, I am doing a console giveaway. If the things I've talked about before didn't give it away, as I said, I'm giving away Diehard, not this version because there's something going on with the audio, so you'll get a better version of that. You're going to get GTA 1, GTA 2, Silent Hill, Jet Moto 2, and there's going to be other games I'm going to reveal throughout the month as I'm doing these videos. But your last day to enter for that. I made a mistake in the video. I said I was going to give it away on the 25th. The 25th is the last day to get in on it. You do have to be a subscriber, and you do have to follow the instructions in that video, which will be right over here in the corner. But that's all I have for you today. Have a good weekend, stay safe, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.